What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another meta update video. This one's going to be going over the team comps. Now, I did a video on this before where I did a map update and a team comp update video in one singular video. There should be a card here if you would like to look at it. For the most part, it's still valid, at least the team comp version of it. There's some few things that I wasn't sure about that with this video, everything is now solidified completely. And it was basically because after I watched the recent tournament from Blondie, if you guys don't know, he held a tournament for like all the best players, even people who were pros before, and he did a 3v3 Joust best of one tournament for all the best players. So, you know, all your people like Trelli, Cosmos, Taco, even pros like I said, Sot, Paul, Rongu, you know, all these people, really good players, top of the food chain. This is what really showed me what exactly like the team comp, like the solidified best and kind of just not great team comps are right now. So yeah, we're gonna get into this. Again, the map update is still 100% valid, and the second section of that video going over team comps is also valid, but like I said, there were just a couple things that I wasn't sure about, and more so just like kind of confused on, like, you know, what really was going to be the meta, because a lot of the times it takes a couple weeks for it to get fully completed, I guess, in terms of, like, you know, which one is the best, which one is the worst. And so it takes a little bit of a while to do that. So I gave you sort of like a synopsis of what is currently like good, and then what could potentially be good. And I was kind of right on the money when I saw the Guardian Hunter Warrior team comp. To be just straight out, that's the best team comp right now. But before we get into it, there was one thing I wanted to show, and there might be a little clip here. I was watching Trelli's team go up against the current best meta team comp, which I just said, in his tournament when he was going up against an enemy team. And they were, in my opinion, going up against people who I think they're better than. And they were using like the old meta team comp with the Guardian Hunter Mage, and just to put it bluntly, they got annihilated in their first game and lost the first game because of it. And you know, that's sort of what I wanted to showcase. So you can see in the video that that he had it was Trelli, Dave, and Santa Dude against 3 other people. Not saying that they're bad or, you know, anything. They're obviously a really solid team. Most of them are. But, you know, team comps and metas are there for a reason. And that video kind of showcases why that, you know, this is a very important thing, and I want to go over it. And so that's what we're going to do here. So, let me see. I'm looking at my notes here. So basically, I'm just going to hammer home like everything that I needed to do, all the team comps and stuff like that. And I'm going to make sure to rank them by like the best and the worst or whatever. I'm just going to do like the top 3 team comps that I think are really good right now, or top 5. And then I'm going to look at some other team comps that just aren't doing great right now. Now, the last video I did, I went over the classes as a whole. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Here we go. So we have Warriors, Guardians, Hunters, Assassins, and Mages like last time. One thing I did want to add here is AA Warriors, so your auto attack warriors. I think that it's necessary to put this because I think there's a differentiation between just warriors and auto attack warriors. That's what AA stands for. Now, I think last time I put warriors as great, and they still are. Sorry, this is in like a weird spot. There's not enough room, and you can't see it, but there's ads on the side, and I can't take them off because of the site. Anyways, so we went over this. Warriors were great. Nothing really changed here. Guardians are still great. Nothing really changed here. Assassins are still pretty good. Not the greatest, but they're still really good. Now, the 2 that I were really off on, not really off like too bad, but I got a little mixed up. I said mages were still going to be, you know, vital, but, you know, they kind of fell off, and I'm right, they did fall off, but I didn't realize how badly they fell off compared to other, you know, even compared to your hunters. Mages, I'm gonna put as like meh, like this. That's not even like, they're kind of not that great. In the top team comps, you'll see that with the highest win rate, not a lot of the mages are there. And then I was pretty much off on the hunters. I thought they were going to be the worst class, but they're not. I still think that they're pretty good. A lot of the hunters in the top team comps win rates are they have hunters in them. Hunters are still really good because of the double tank team comp, allowing for hunters to essentially get online, because, you know, 2 tanks will allow for that. And because mages just don't do as much damage compared to hunters when they scale, and even early game, it's better just to have a hunter for that, and that because late game they'll just be able to shred as well. And then AA warriors I wanted to put here because I think this class right here, specifically warriors who go auto attack who go auto attack based, are either busted or borderline busted, because they are, I think, the best class right now. Warriors, and specifically auto attack warriors, are the best class right now. I mean, Jesus, let's go into it. Basically, like every single one of your auto attack warriors, like your Gilgamesh, your Amaterasu, your Bellona, your Vamana, your Osiris, your Erlong, even though like I was ragging on Erlong a while ago, these gods, you just build Warrior's Axe, Shoguns, Berserkers, or Phalanx, Executioner, Spirit Robe / Mantle into Kins, and then you upgrade your starter into Axe of Animosity, and you're unkillable with all of your protections. From you have 4 items that are defense, and then you have Exi and Kins that just shred. Kins giving you health damage, Acts of Animosity giving you even more health damage based on your protections, and then you just have like 2.5 attack speed, because you know, with the buffs to Shoguns, I'm calling it a buff now because I think cooldown is a bloated stat, and I think the extra 10% attack speed on this item allows you to get 40% attack speed with one fucking item, plus either Berserker Shield or Phalanx. And then obviously you got Xe Kins. I mean, you're getting so much attack speed, and you're just doing so much damage. You're getting 2 items that have proc damage with Kins and Acts of Animosity. And not only that, I mean, every single one of your auto attack based warrior has some type of getaway ability, decent amount of like CC Erlong, and you know, has a 2 and ult. Bellona has a ult, and her 1 able to just track you down, basically have a slow, which you can just get all your autos. Amma has a really good getaway, her ult. Osiris is the best fucking auto attack. I mean, they have everything right now, and so that's why I think that them specifically are what makes the Warrior Guardian Hunter team comp the best, in my opinion. So yeah, if you're not already playing the auto attack warriors, you need to. You can still play other gods like Shiva or Horus or Kukulkan, but I don't think they're as good as your AA gods. So make sure you're practicing these gods, because with the recent 11.2 patch not nerfing any of the items like Berserkers or Shoguns, Kins, Xe, I don't know why the fuck they didn't nerf Xe. Xe is the best item in the game right now, with the best glyph in the game when you're talking about your hunters and your warriors. So yeah, you better be playing those gods, because they're not getting nerfed. Besides Vamana, they're going to still be extremely strong, especially seeing as, you know, their warriors are going to be still extremely strong, seeing as they also nerfed crit on hunters. So crit isn't even really a viable option anymore. Not that it was all that much currently, but that option just really isn't as good anymore. So yeah, let's actually go into the team comps now that we've solidified this, because I was a little bit off. Mages just aren't there. Assassins are still pretty good, especially with your tank assassins, because it's spoiler alert, we are in a double tank meta. Like I said earlier, I got a couple things off on my old video. At the timing of that video, it wasn't completely solidified, so you were still seeing teams like your Guardian, Hunter, Mage, so your old traditional team comps, and that's just because we were sort of in a transitionary period between last meta and this meta. And yeah, that I was saying that, you know, we're not in a double tank meta, but we are definitely in a double tank meta, whether it's your warrior guardian, double guardian, or double guardian hunter, or double warrior, warrior assassin, hunter. I mean, warrior assassin, or a guardian assassin. You know, all these other type of different things. So we'll get into this right now. So. All right, so like I stated earlier, auto attack warriors are borderline busted. So with them being able to be tanky while doing a fuck ton of damage, they can kind of run the entire game. So let's actually change this by win rate. So currently this is by pick rate, the highest pick rate. Now we're gonna go by highest win rate, and as you can see, your top 3 right now are your double guardian hunter. Not really surprised. This has a very obvious effect with your 2 guardians sort of peeling and setting up for your hunter while they're just able to free cast in the back, which also allows you to have your hunter you know, get online so much faster and easier because they have these 2 tanks in front of him while he's, you know, being safe, hopefully. Then you have your hunter assassin or your guardian hunter assassin, which also has a 60, and then obviously the pick rates aren't that high, but just not a lot of people play them, and I think that they're super good, and the people that do play them know about this, and that's exactly why the win rate is super high right now. There's this team comp. We're gonna go into this one though because this one's more important. The reason why this one right here, the guardian hunter assassin team comp, is really good is specifically because of this team comp. It's just a different version with your hunter and your warrior. You know, certain assassins like Neja, Camazotz, or any of those other ones that really can go here, even Thor or even Fenrir, for example, make it to where you can go kind of tanky with your assassin guardian, or even more damagey with this, and you just sort of do whatever the hell you want. But specifically with this team comp, we got your guardian warrior hunter. It has almost 10,000 pick rate, and I still think that this is the best team comp. It doesn't have the highest win rate, but I think this is the easiest team to use for a general population, while not having, you know, it's not as hard to use as a guardian hunter, for example, because warriors are still so fucking busted. And when I mean warriors, I mean your auto attack warriors, to be clear. So yeah, we are definitely in a tank meta, and it just shows through all these stats right here. I mean, you have some fringe team comps like your double assassin mage, which is still pretty decent. You have this weird one with double guardian assassin, double warrior mage up there still, double mage guard. I mean, as you can see, there's only like 3 team comps with a mage in them, and they're not even the highest one, but they're all followed by someone who's tanky. Like, you don't see a combination of, I mean, assassin can be kind of ambiguous in terms of what the assassin is building, but ideally, you know, they can be, a lot of assassins are built tanky and Joust, so you can assume that a lot of them are building tanky. I mean, double warriors tanky, double guardian tanky, with this one, I mean, they're all tanks, bro. So double tank is back. If you're not playing that with a high amount of pressure with them, you really should be. But let me see. Let me look at my my notes. So, okay, so either having a guardian or another tank like a warrior or a tank assassin is really good, followed up by a mage, but preferably hunter, like I said. So, if you're gonna have any type of combination, I would assume, or I would think that the best one, in my opinion, is one with a guardian and or a guardian or a warrior slash assassin. So usually you would want a guardian on your team because, you know, it has peel set up and whatever, and your assassin can be a flex pick for your warrior. I still think the warrior is better depending on the warrior you pick, but if you're gonna pick into a, you know, let's say they banned all the auto attack warriors like Gilgamesh, Amma, Osiris, all of them, and you only have his assassins left. I'm sorry, all you have is ability-based warriors like Cucullin, Horus, or Shiva, and you don't want to play that. You can always play into an assassin that's still up. You know, if they didn't ban Neja, which is actually getting banned less now because double tank is so prevalent, and Neja isn't the best into it, you can pick up some assassins, seeing as if you're going to pick an ability-based warrior, you might as well just pick an assassin, because what really makes the warriors really good right now is, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it, your auto attack based warriors. So yeah, I think any combination of this type of team comp, whether it's your double guardian right here, this one's a little bit harder to play because you have to wait a little bit to get online because you're hunter and your guardian, or your guardian warrior hunter, or your guardian assassin hunter, your assassin being like your hybrid tank, or you could just play Camazotz, for example, because Camazotz is broken right now. I mean, this one's a little bit weird, but it still has the same premise. It's not really picked up that much, but I wouldn't really go this one. You can even do double warrior mage. I don't think it's as good as it once was because guardians are so good right now. I think you really need a guardian. One thing I was highlighting on this team comp that I didn't really like was the low magical damage from having one guardian, but they're basically just for the setup, because the amount of damage that a warrior and a hunter have right now with all the items, like I said, Kins, Xe, while also being tanky with all the attack speed in the fucking world, you don't really need as much magical damage. And on top of that, most guardians nowadays have so much fucking damage. I mean, you know, your top fucking guardians, your Charon, your Kuzenbo, your Kabrakan, even your Ganesh. I mean, he does a surprisingly a lot of fucking damage. I mean, there's so many other guardians like Atlas. I mean, there's so many bans right now that you're not going to be able to ban every single guardian while also trying to ban like the really OP picks like Achilles or even like a Thoth, for example. So you're bound to get a guardian open that does a lot of damage. So any version of this I think is good. Just playing that right now is going to be really good. Double tank, having that pressure early game, because snowball is really good. They're really good at snowballing. Being able to have pressure over buffs and doing things like that is really gonna make your game so much easier to have dictation over. Is that a word? Have dictating power over, whatever. You're gonna have the game on lock. That's what I'm trying to say. If with this type of team comp. So I will rank this at the end, but we're going to go ahead and look at the old team comp by, let's go by pick rate, because pick rate is more important. So like I said, this has a 30% pick rate right now, and it has a 48% win rate. And like I said, this is your Guardian Hunter Mage, and this is up to 11.1, so this might change a little bit once we get more data from 11.2 once it comes out tomorrow. But you gotta stop playing. I mean, like, you don't have to stop playing this team comp if it's working for you and you're having fun, for example. But I think you're just at a disadvantage. Like I stated earlier with the clip, I'm gonna put a little clip at the end or at the beginning with Trelly's team going up against someone else's team. I think it was like Splitfire's team. I can't remember. They got annihilated. I think it was a Bologna, Hachi, and I don't remember the Guardian. I think it was Jing Chen. And they had X-Ball, Morgan Le Fay, and Charon, which is a really fucking solid team. But you just can't, you have to wait till you get online. And I don't think that's a really good strategy, is to wait to get online to maybe have your late game, like one push at the end. I think going double tank is the play there, and them playing into that double tank with the hunter just showcases like the level of the levels when it comes to team comps. Like I said, this has 30% win rate and it only has a 48 pick rate and it only has a 48% win rate. I just think this team has fallen off. You can say the same thing with the warrior hunter mage. These two have one of the worst win rates for how much they're getting picked. So if you're watching this video and you're trying to figure out which team comp to go, just do any version of the double tank. The version that I say is the warrior, guardian, hunter, but any version of it, because they just snowball you too hard, and that's exactly what happens with these team comps. It's just played too much, not enough early game pressure to where it matters, and then on top of that, you know, every type of guardian hunter or guardian warrior tanky assassin is just better now, just because of the changes to class passives that really shut them down. The hunters, and specifically the mages, though. Let's go ahead and look at some more of these. This one is still pretty decent. This one is actually a favorite one of mine, Guardians, Mage, Assassin. But even this one is still kind of fallen off a little bit. I do like this one, the Guardian Warrior Mage, as much as it doesn't have the best win rate. I've been playing this a decent amount. I'm not the best with a Hunter, so I'm really good with Mages. And you can always flex pick your Hunter into a Mage instead of your Hunter, your Now just imagine this team is your hunter right here. I think you can always flex pick your mage into a hunter for this team comp. So, you know, this is always a good option as well. This is a very solid team. It gets picked a lot as well. But if you really want to have the best, you gotta get your double tanks in here. So as you can see, this has actually gotten picked up a little bit. But yeah, these two teams have fallen off. I don't think you should play them anymore unless you're just trying to have fun or you have like a specific idea of what you want to do. Because like I said earlier, let's go back to this. Your double tanks are just up there. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and rank these by what I think are the best and the worst. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the top 5 team comps that I think are really good at this moment. I'm gonna go ahead. It's probably gonna be in editing after effect, but we'll just go down the list of number 1 that I think is the best, all the way to number 5 that I think is still the best on the top 5. And spoiler alert, none of the traditional team comps are on here. So if you want to win, start playing these team comps. So number 1 is obvious. I already said this 1,000 times in this video. Guardian Warrior Hunter is the best team comp. I'm also going to be putting specific examples of gods that you would want to play in this team comp that makes them good. Because like I said earlier, that doesn't really go over specifically what makes this team comp good if I don't show you specific gods that facilitate this team comp being so good. So like I said, a Guardian Warrior Hunter. Warrior kind of entails anything. It could be an auto attack based or an ability based warrior, which like I said earlier, I don't think the ability based warriors are all that great in this team comp compared to what I think earlier. So to what I said earlier. So I'm gonna put examples here. So for like a Guardian Warrior Hunter team comp, I'm thinking maybe like a Charon would be good. Your warrior would be a Cyrus, and your hunter could be a Hachiman for the safety aspect. What make this team comp really good is specifically the auto attack based warrior. Like I said earlier, if you put a Cuchulainn in exchange for the Osiris, for example, you can still win and it can still be very good. And I still think that team comp specifically with the Cuchulainn is still better than any of the traditional team comps with the Guardian Hunter Mage. But I just don't think it's as good as it would be with an Osiris or an Amma or even an Erlong, for example. So that is number 1. That is your example of a team comp right there. Number 2, and this one will always be, will stand the test of time, I think, and will always just be a really good team comp. Number 2 is your double Guardian Hunter. I think this one is super good. I mean, I'm going to go over it just very briefly. Like, you know, the 2 Guardians allow for the Hunter to get online. That's basically it. Guardians do a fuck ton of damage. You have 2 magical damage outputs while your Hunter does a lot of fucking physical when it goes straight into auto attack base. So like, you know, there isn't anything lacking in your damage out department. The only thing is that it takes a little bit of time to get online. So playing it safely is what you're going to want to do. I put this at number 2, even though it is a technically higher win rated team comp. And that's just because I think not a lot of people play the double Guardian Hunter at that high of a level, and the people that do are obviously just better. And so that's why it's going to have a little bit of a better team comp or win rate for this team comp, whereas the Guardian Warrior Hunter doesn't have as much. But I think that team comp's just way better in the hands of the general public. Now, a specific you know, example of a team comp for this one would probably be, I don't know, a Kuzumbo, a Kabrak, or no, let me scratch that. Kabrakan, Bacchus, and like an X-Ball, for example. The amount of CC and damage you get from Bacchus and Kabrakan are disgusting. They don't get banned too much, and you can actually fucking destroy with this team. I've used this team a lot, and it's fucking disgusting. So, you know, Guardians that have a lot of damage and have a lot of setup is what you want, and then a Hunter that does a fuck ton of damage as well, like an X-Ball, Hachi, Hoi Yi. You know, Hoi Yi would actually be really good with a Kabrakan. Shout out to my old team comp video. But that is going to be number 2 with the example. Number 3, I think, is your Guardian Hunter Assassin, and this is just because you can flex pick your warrior with an assassin. If you don't have any of your auto attack warriors that you want, and all you have is ability based warriors, you know, to pick there for your second tank, you know, you can always just flex pick that with a tanky or a full damage hybrid assassin. You can do so much with assassins. So I think this is also a really good team comp if you want to flex pick into an assassin, because they're super good right now. Assassins are pretty solid at the moment. So this is just like a substitute version of it, and actually technically has a better win rate, even though it has half the pick rate, but still think it is really good. An example of this, and it has like basically the same effect as any of the other team comps besides the double Guardian Hunter. So it has basically the same effect as the Guardian Warrior Hunter, the first one on top. But an example of team comp would be, a Guardian that has a lot of damage and CC. So, a fucking Atlas, for example. Atlas be good there. A Hunter, you could do, you can do Hoi Yi. And then an Assassin. The Assassin is tricky here. You can do a lot here. You can either pick Neige off. It's open. I wouldn't suggest it into a double tank team comp, as I said before. He kind of gets shut down in that. Doesn't do as much. But a really good Assassin, I would say, is probably putting a Camazotz here. A Camazotz can go hybrid, does a lot of fucking damage. Safety aspect of Camazotz is super good, and I think he's probably the best assassin right now. That doesn't get banned a lot either, so if you play Camazotz, that's really good. If not, you can play a slew of other gods, like Serket, even a Fenrir, even though I don't think he's as great right now. Ravana is really good here, so you have a lot of options here, but basically any type of assassin that can have a lot of safety aspect and damage, or can go really tanky, like a Ravana, for example. So that's number 3. Number 4 is your double warrior mage. This isn't as good as it once was. This was the best team comp in my opinion back, I don't know, a couple seasons ago. But this team comp has seen a resurgence, and I think it's a pretty solid team. Your 2 warriors do a lot of damage, and very similar to a double guardian hunter team comp. That they just have a lot of pressure at the front line, so they can do what the fuck they want while the mage gets online and kind of pokes from the back. So this is also a really solid team, has very similar effects to the other one. I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as good because I think Guardians are just do like your peel and setup 1,000 times better than most warriors. Now with this team comp, I think to make this one work, you would need to have one of your warriors go auto attack based. So one of them would be like, I don't know, an Amaterasu. Amaterasu is really fucking good right now. Another warrior would have to be an ability based either setup type of warrior. So I think in order to make this team comp work, you need to have your Amaterasu for your auto attack, and then your next warrior needs to be something like a Horus or even a Shiva, something that has a lot of CC, preferably Horus, because he just is able to lock down people, though a lot of fucking damage at the same time. He's basically a pseudo guardian, so I think Horus fits nicely into this team comp as well. And then as your mage, as far as your mage goes, anything basically, you can go. I would just go ahead and go E-Shell here. E-Shell has so much CC, does so much damage at the same time. But if you don't want to go E-Shell, for example, any of the other OP gods that are open, like Thoth, Baba Yaga, Morgan Le Fay, or even Yu Huang. I like Yu Huang because he's super, super safe and does a lot of damage from the back. So I think this is a very solid example of this team comp as well. And then finally, my 5th best team comp I think right now is your Guardian Warrior Mage. It's very similar to the Guardian Warrior Hunter. This one is just sort of flex picking the Hunter with a mage if you want to do that. I like this team comp a lot, but it just doesn't have that oomph that comp that I just said earlier with the Guardian Warrior Hunter. Sorry, it's all fucking confusing, saying the same shit over again. It doesn't have the same type of output as that one does. It has like 10% less win rate on it, so I'm putting this at the bottom. I still think it's really good because double tank into a mage instead of like I still think it's way better than your traditional team comp, but I'm putting it at the bottom because it doesn't showcase statistically the best results compared to this one. But if you always want to do that, you can always do this one as well. And very similar to the Guardian Warrior Hunter team comp, that specific team orientation with those gods are going to be very similar to this one. So your Guardian, let me think of a Guardian. So we did Kabrak and Atlas. So you can do like you could do a Cerberus for your Guardian, has a lot of damage, has a lot of setup. Your warrior would also be auto attack based, so you can even put like a fucking I don't know, an Erlong. You can put Erlong here. Erlong is super good right now as well. I was gonna say Vimana. Vimana is really good as well, but I think he's probably gonna get banned. But you can do any of those, but let's just put Bologna here. So Cerberus, Bologna, and then your mage can be anything, like I said earlier. It can be like your Baba Yaga, whatever. But I think one of the best mages for this team comp is Vulcan. I think Vulcan is really good right now. And can actually counter a lot of the auto attack based warriors and hunters. If you ever go up against a team that has a lot of, if they have like a Bologna and a Kuzumbo, for example, an enemy team, you can go, and you don't want to pick a hunter because it just counters hunters, you can always go into a god like Vulcan. And I think this is where that team comp shines. If they have a lot of shutdown for your hunter, I think this going into a mage, doing that ability based damage while also being safe is probably going to be your best bet for that. So yeah, I think that is basically it. We can go over again, not really go over, but just showcase. So if we go back to pick right here, yeah, these team comps, just the traditional, you need to stop playing these unless, like I said earlier, you just want to have fun. If you're trying to win, you got to pivot to the meta, because my example with Trelly just kind of highlights all of that. I suggest not playing these as much. You still can, it can still work. I just don't think it's as good. So that's basically it. That's everything that I have for you for the team comps. If you have any questions, please let me know. Join the Discord if you would like to just get in touch with me instead of going in the YouTube comments and typing and waiting for a response. If you message me on Discord, for the most part, I'm always active on that and can answer a bunch of questions a lot easier, in my opinion. So Discord in the description down below if you would like to join that and ask more questions, or just hang out. The Discord is always fun. There's a lot of games going on, so you can always pick up games with people, duo, trio queue, anything like that. So I urge you to do that. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. But if you guys, I think that's it. So if you guys would like, send some suggestions in the comment section or anything like that, that'd be much appreciated. But yeah, that's everything I have for you. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching.